Good afternoon, Carnation crafters, and a massive warm welcome to part 3 of launch day. Just to let you all know, it's been so busy and we've only done 2 shows and already nearly half of it's gone. So we did know that was going to happen, like we said earlier. It's fast and it's furious. So for those of you who haven't been able to join us in the previous shows, Christmas happens in June in the crafting industry. It's across the board. The whole of the crafting industry does Christmas in June. And we have 2 collections every month for Carnation Crafts, and in June they are both Christmas launches. Hey Jacqueline, hey Pam Simpson, are you all right? Hey Sheila, hey Angela, how you doing? For those of you who are wondering where Davey B is, Davey B had to go home this morning, so he did the first show and then it's been me since then, so I apologise for not having his lovely face here, but it is just me this afternoon. We have got Miss Tiztaz in the corner. She's looking very perky. She's not looking perky at all, but she is in the corner. Good afternoon, Tammy. Are you okay? And so, yes, we're going to bring you some demos. We're going to have a look at the collection. We're going to have a look at the boards. It's kind of fast and furious because, like I say, it's selling really, really fast. Hey, Annie Foxall. Hey, Kaylee. I hope you were all okay this afternoon. Did you all have a nice lunch? Did we have lunch?
We had early
lunch. Brunch. We had brunch, kind of. We had bacon sandwiches. It wasn't very exciting, but there you go. Right, so we're going to have a look at what's in the collection, but just to let you know, because it is selling so fast, the number that you need is 230601. That's over on the Carnation Crafts website, which is www.carnationcrafts.co.uk. Best price today is £107.99. If you just go to checkout, it will say £119.99. There is a code that you need to input to get 10% off, and that code is CCGC10, which is Charlie Charlie Golf Charlie 10, and that's all in capitals. That's going to give you a stonking 10% discount off the collection. Not only will it give you a 10% discount off the collection, it gives you 10% off anything that is to do with today's show. So always good to have those discount codes. It's not the only thing that we've got for you today. There are 3 different other dies, unique dies, if you like. They are sort of independent of the collection, but they are they fit with it beautifully. So Carnation have paired them with it. We've got Putting Up the Tree, which is just, you've seen it in previous demos. It's a tree that you pull out and it extends, and that's really awesome. There is also a debossing plate, which is stunning, and a card shape, but unfortunately the card shape sold out. They do have it extended, so I'll give you all of those numbers as we go through the boards and you see it all coming together, and then we're going to demo. We're going to demo. So we're going to have a lovely afternoon together. So let's have a look at what we've got on the boards. This one is your Bursting with Joy, and it's incredible. It looks kind of odd when you look at it, doesn't it? It's not like your standard Carnation kind of look of a die, really, but it is absolutely incredible. So all of these pieces give us little cut lines, and you can see down here you've got these cut lines, and here, and that allows each piece of this to be folded back and curved over. So we create these really awesome, quite unusual shapes. And you've got the diamond shape down here, you've got corners, you've got borders, you've got curled edges, and it gives us, see how you've got these shapes here? It gives us these, so everything pops out. Looks really cool, and we're going to have a look at those in the next demo so you can see how it works and see it coming together. Really, really pretty though, and something very, very unusual. I've said it before, and I will say it again. It's nothing really to do with Christmas. All of those shabby cards that we use where you pull the corner edges down, it's all there for you to use, and it is absolutely epic. So we love, love, love. Hey Karen Vincent, hello Susan Hawkes. Always great to have your company, might I add. We did a demo with this particular set of the ribbons earlier. I can't find it now, but it makes the most incredible card just using the ribbons. It looks like you've made a gifted card, it's like a gifted present, isn't it, Taz? I'll find it in a second. So it looks like you've made a full present just using the ribbons, and it's so beautiful. And anyone who watched the previous show, you'll have known what I mean when I say it looks like you've created that full card shape. I think Miss Taz is just looking for it. I had it a minute ago, but I've put it down somewhere, Miss Taz. It'll be hither. Oh, there it is. So let me show you. Look how pretty that is. Really beautiful, right? So you get to create that just using these shapes and cutting in. So this piece here, this long line, is actually this piece, and it's just been snipped. So we're just using that end of it, and we're using that to create, or you can have the much longer line ones, depending what sort of look you're wanting to achieve. Just absolutely stunning. Like, this whole collection is just beyond pretty. It's a real privilege to work with it, I've got to tell you, and it's something that just pops to life. So that is that section, and then those seasonal florals are just incredible. They're so, so pretty. It's called Seasonal Celebrations. You've got your poinsettia, is it? Miss Taz is nodding. Poinsettia. Then you've got your whites. I'm not sure what they are. And then you've got your berries. You've got those in red and in white. I know it's only got the red on here, but they are in white as well. You've also got your pine cones. You've got your fir tree pieces, your holly, your season's greeting, and your Merry Christmas. It's massive, absolutely massive. Linda Poland, good afternoon. I've had my email to say my orders have been completed. I've actually just been on the phone with Mark, and they are on top of it. They are on the game. Despite how busy they are working incredibly hard to get those orders picked, packed, and posted to you. You can imagine how busy it is. So much of the stock has gone, and they are just working like little beavers in the back at the warehouse, just getting those orders out to you. It's incredible to hear that so many of you have already had confirmation of that. It's nice, right? When you buy it, you kind of want it, right? From there, we've got your lovely little animals, our friends here that are all sitting together. You can see how beautiful they are, but it's not just the animals. The Sharing in the Moments die set has got your fox, your robin, and your polar bear with a scarf that they can all wear. Take those away and we still have all of these other elements. You've got the gorgeous little rabbit with his Christmas hat on. You've got your little mouse with his I love him, with his little baggy woolly jumper on. And then you've got your table. We played with that in one of the last demos, where you've got everything happening on the table, a little meal that all of them can sit round. You've got your little log stump here, which works as a seat for your small characters to sit on as well. Lots of gifts. You've got kind of things like tinsel that can be used on a tree, all your different elements, little glass of something. What's interesting to note about this die set is your large animals, certainly, actually your smaller ones too, a lot of these, where you see the outline coming round, like here, it's a separate mat. Now, take him, cut this outside layer, cut it twice, score at 1/2 inch, and then stick the vignette, the artwork on top. You've actually made a Christmas card without doing anything else, and I think that's extraordinary. It gives us incredible power for quick cards because the artwork's so strong. So it can be as complicated or as simple as you want. And then we have got these really, really stunning, I love, love, love these, the little corners. And your cold snap corners, which are just gorgeous. So you've got those elements which are great for framing out your card. This, which is great for texturizing your cards, adding in a different element to the center point of your card. Pretty as a picture. White on white is always gorgeous, but these can be cut in mirror card, they can be cut in your perfect papers, they can be cut in any papers that you've got, and that, as far as I'm concerned. This one looks more like snowflakes to me, but this one I think can be used on any card. I just think it works all the way across the board. Now, that's the collection, that's the bundle, that's everything that comes together. However, we do have some separate dies, like I said, some independent dies that work away from the bundle or with it. And we're going to have a look at the boards for those, and I'll give you the item numbers as we go through each one. So you've got that gorgeous card shape. Now that is now on extended. What's this business? I hear you yell.
What is that business?
What is that? What is that business? That business is this business. See how it's not, sorry, it gets blurred when I lift it up. See how you've got that tube almost? If I, you can just see the tubular piece here. If I put that there, where my finger is, and that allows you to glue that in, and you create that piece. So we've got score lines. You score and fold over. It creates like a box shape, that tube. And you glue this piece to the card. And then on here, you can weave ribbon through like we've got here, or paper ribbons. And you can add florals to it. If any of you want to know more about how to do that, please do revisit the first show of the day today, when myself and Davey B brought the show to you, and on that there is a full outline demo of exactly how to do that piece and exactly how to use the Bursting with Joy die, so you're not left without any tutorials or instruction. It is all there for you. But like I say, this sold out this morning. So they've got it on extended dispatch. That's coming to you from the 26th of June. So less than 3 weeks. Or 3 weeks, and that's 230607 39.99 and 2.95 P&P. But it might be one of the cleverest card shapes I've seen them do. It's just awesome because it's choice. You don't have to use it. You can just use the card shape on its own. You'll see those demos coming through today, or we can choose to bring that panel in. It's just crazy, crazy cool. Linda says, I've called the polar bear Steve because of our surname. My husband and boys have been called polar bear at some point. Linda Poland. That makes sense. That's very sweet. Then we've got you're putting up the tree. You've seen me working with this a couple of times today, which is where you have this beautiful tree that's cut. And if you hold the bottom point and pull the star, it elongates so it gets much bigger. And it's on like a spring formation almost. Then you've got all the elements here to decorate that tree. So you've got your baubles and your golds, your reds and your greens. You've also got your diamonds and you've got your sort of more circular shapes. Then you've also got your swags. I don't know what the word is for that really, but they're so pretty. And actually when they're that way around, they do look like crowns. They're just really beautiful. And if you were to cut that, you could give the polar bear a crown. How cute is that? But yes, so if you've got the magic fireplace, something like that, you could sort of festoon across. You could put them on the tree. There's lots and lots of different ways of you using that, but they look really beautiful just decorating that tree. Lots of ways to play, right? And that's what we like. So putting up the tree is 230609, 17.99 today, 2.95 P&P if that's the only item that you buy on individual, because you're not going over that £50 free P&P threshold. That I love that. That's an all season. That is just the craziest, biggest piece of metal this side of Manchesterford. Look at that. It's huge. Really, really beautiful piece, isn't it? All of that design work coming through. And it's a debossing plate, so you need to use it with your embossing mats on your cutting machine, or you can use a piece of Elevate if you want to have it even more pulled out, because it pushes everything. Because it's foam underneath, it just becomes a really beautiful debossed piece, which I am in love with, and I think again can be used with so many cards. If you're going to use a piece where you are doing something like this, and this is debossed here, what you're going to want to do is cut it, use your Bursting with Joy first, then deboss that whole piece. Otherwise you're going to flatten out all of your debossing. So that is all your extras. Your debossing plate, just so you know, is called Crisp Winter Debossing Plate, and it's on the number 230608 on the Carnation website. It's $24.99, $2.95 P&P. The last thing that we'll talk about then that you can grab hold of today, which is just really beautiful, are the Perfect Papers, and they are exquisite. The different patterns, shapes and colours that are coming through with those reds, those golds and those greens are just extraordinary. And that beautiful kind of Scandi jumper design that's on some of them is just really beautiful, and it works so well. You'll find those on the C&C website for $14.99, Carnation Crafts, or www.carnationcrafts.co.uk. $14.99 with a P&P of $2.95 if you're buying them just on their own, 230610. And that is the whole show basically. If you want to buy the show, as in you want to buy every single element that we've got on the show, you absolutely can do. It comes to £196 and 16 pence, sorry. You can make that in 4 payments of £49 and 4 pence by using ClearPay at checkout, or you can do it in 3 payments using PayPal Pay in 3, and that's £65 and 39 pence at checkout. So it works out that way. That was a lot of words, Miss Taz.
A lot of numbers.
It's a lot of numbers. It was a lot of words. I feel like I'm exhausted.
I think you need to craft.
Shall I craft now? Let's do that instead. I'm much better at the crafting than I am at the numbers usually. Let's put it that way. Right, I'm just going to put that robin there while I sort things out, because that might be the cutest thing ever in the world. And while you're looking at that beautiful robin, I will get my demo out and be less noisy that way.
Why are you lying to them? You're having a cheeky pack of crisps.
A pack of smoky bacon. Ooh. Would you not have smoky bacon? What would you go for, Miss Taz?
I've actually got like the chicken crisps.
The chicken.
Roasted chicken.
Roast chicken. Would you go for the Walkers? Other brands do exist. Doritos. Would you? I think I'll stick with hula hoops. I think I'm a hula hoop girl. Everybody at home, please do let us know which is your favourite savoury snack. Miss Taz and I are always open to new suggestions. Let's have a look. Right, so we're going to play with this collection and have a look at those apertures there as we're going. I was so tidy in the last show. Look, I tidied everything away. So we're going to have a look at the card shape. Now, like I say, this has actually sold out. We are now on extended delivery. So we're just going to place this into here and we're going to take off that red liner tape. So that's a 1/2 inch red liner on, fold it back, place that towards your body. Place it together, shuffle, place down, push, and there you've got your card base. All perfectly done and dusted. And then we have started to get into your mats and look at that green. So pretty, isn't it? They're all little stars. They're not dots, they're stars, which is super, super cute. It means you get a little bit of extra detailing going on there as well. And I love, love, love. I love the fact that they do put that detail on. It's incredible, right? We get that extra little piece. Am I able to just, I think I'm about right there. Place, push, pull. Okay? Really, really pretty. I think that's so lovely. That whole piece I think is really nice. I will say, if you were to cut the next die down just in white, maybe debossed, but then slice it in half and use the bottom half to decorate in white and put just a sentiment in the top centre here on a white background would just be so pretty and so effective, because that green has got a really gorgeous depth to it, that colour. It's really beautiful. Now I've got the next piece, which is hither, and I have debossed it, as you can see, and I have used the Bursting with Joy circle piece on here. Now I can have that circle piece as an independent card piece here. So I can just cut it in the normal white, you can see, or I can deboss it. That's obviously on a blush paper. You can see the difference now between your blush paper and your normal paper. There is a lovely tone to your blushes, and this is obviously more stark in contrast. So it's up to you what you want to do. I could just have it on the plane, or I can use that. I love that though. I think that's so pretty, and that's what I'm going to do. And for this, as it stands, I'm just going to pull these back. Now I've got choices here, and what I don't want to do is particularly sort of play and ruin that piece, but what I will talk to you about is doing it on this one where I've started. Your different options start to come in. Now obviously if I'm doing it on this one, I've got the whole background to play with. On this one I'm obviously missing this bit because I've cut the outside square off. But if I was to take this and I'm to take something that's rounded, and the bigger you go with this, the sort of less creasing you'll get, so it's up to you how you want to play. But if I take this and I wrap it round, I can do it around my pokey and get something really sort of tightly fitted. Or I can do it something larger like this and get a much bigger curl. So think of it as being your hair. If you were to curl your hair and you were to do it on a very fine tong, for instance, you'd get a very, very tight spiral, like a permed thing. If you were to do it with your straighteners, then you curl with your straighteners, you get a beach wave. And it's the same thing. How do you want it to be? If you use something bigger to curl it round, you'll get that wave shape. If you want to use something smaller, you'll get a smaller curve line. Now what I can do, now I've got that, is I can curl it right round and I can push it under and glue. Okay, so I've got that curl. I can leave it just so it's sitting, or I could pull that straight down and I can glue just here, so I've got that curvature point. So lots and lots of different ways of using those and making different edges for it. And that's the power of that Bursting with Joy, because every single element is going to give me that playway for me to do what I want to do with it. One of the things I do love doing with it is actually keeping them flat. There's something really beautiful about that. Pretty. Really pretty. Now if I was to cut another one in a different colour, I haven't actually tried it too much, and I've got foam tape on the back of this, so it may not work anyway, but let's think. If I was canny with it, I reckon I could cut that into a different colour, and I think I could put another one below it and I could pull it out. Now you think if that was done double and you had different colour underneath, I think that could look really, really effective, okay? So you would create a bloom going through. So have a play with what you can do with it, how far you can take it, and what forms and shapes we can make. Because if you had the inside set, you know, that panel there on a tartan, something like that, wouldn't that just be extraordinary coming through with the white on top? Really pretty, those colours merging. So play with it. Obviously I've got foam tape on mine so it's not sitting straight, but different ways of playing. It's never one way or t'other. So I've got that there, and that's going to sit on top. I'm just going to curl mine back for the time being, but I've got things that I want to put behind it. Now, in all of the other elements that I've been doing, I've been stretching the tree. I'm not going to on this one because I want it to just kind of sit, and I want it to sit just off kilter. So I don't want it particularly, you know, taking centre stage, because I'm going to put one of the animals in there. So I just want it sitting off. Now I can cut the edge off if it's hanging over too much, or I can just push it in enough so that it doesn't hang over. Up to me how I want to play with it. It's just there. But this little chap is also going to sit inside, and he's going to be tucked right in, so he's going to be underneath. So I'm just getting these into place first before I start committing to anything, because my foam tape's going to stick everything down. So I'm just looking at the different elements that I've got. Now with these two pieces, I'm going to use them at the top. They're going to create like a festoon element to it, but I could use them as elements on the tree as well. But I like them to just give me that beautiful shaping at the top, and that's what I'm going to focus them on. So now I've got those two in place, I know I can start gluing them in. So I'll take my tree first. I'll get some wet glue because I want it to be flat. Chuck a bit onto here. Get my applicators, and I'm just going to glue onto the back of this tree and get that stuck down. I've forgotten where it's supposed to be now, Miss Taz, because my polar bear moved. So I've lost my device. And just place in just there, little bits of glue just forming and coming through. So I know the bottom of it is going to be roughly around there, so I reckon about there should be fine. Still got wiggle room on it because it's not dry yet and I haven't pushed it down, but that worked. So I can still move this slightly. However, the minute I push onto where I've glued, then it stays. That's the whole thing with Carnation's everyday glue. Once you push it, you make that adhesion go. It's almost like a key that you're using on it. Whereas if you don't push it and you just place it, you can still move it, which is incredibly useful. Now obviously, you know, I'd normally shape him out, but because I want him behind that, and I don't want my piece on top to sort of sit upright and wonky, I need to leave him flat, and that makes sense. So we're just going to put a little bit of adhesion on him, not much, just enough to keep him stuck. Again, I'm not pushing. Notice how I just place him. Then I can take this piece, work out, can I see him? Is he in a good place? Does he look right to me? I love him there. I think that's a really nice position. If anything, I might just shunt him slightly that way, just a smidge. I don't want to cover him. Happy, push, and he'll stay. And that's just the Carnation everyday glue. It's just the way it works, and it just works beautifully. Look at him, so happy with his little tree. And I wanted to keep it smaller this time because I want to use the idea of him being like a teddy bear and looking at that small tree as if we're looking at something that's in miniature form. So it depends how you want to play with that and how you want to build that up. I just like it for those elements. So before I start going any further, I'm just going to put a couple of ornaments on that tree. I'm not going to go too far with it, just to let you know, because I'm not too fussed, but I'll place some going down. So I'm just going to put these in a little formation going down. Obviously, if you're at home, you'll probably want to decorate this a little bit more heavily. But in demo time, we don't have a lot of time, so I'm not going to do too much on it. Look at the little pretty. Now, every good polar bear needs a good scarf in the winter. It's just really sweet, isn't it? So I'm just going to shape that a tiny bit, not much. I'm going to sneeze, I think. Tammy says Christmas tree looks like a fancy Christmas cake. It does. You could use it as either, couldn't you? You wouldn't have to use it as either or. I'm just going to place that thither. So he's got his little scarf on, and he's happy as Larry, and he's warm and cosy. Look, he's so cute. Right, foam tape. So what you'll notice on my foam tape is I've got the 2 large panels that go on the top and the bottom, and then I've got the 4 that sit around the aperture. I need the 4 that sit around the aperture because I need to keep it held up. If I don't keep it held up, where you can see it here and it's starting to sort of bend, that would happen to all of it, and I don't want that to happen. Now, because I've got the support mechanism that sits on those 4, it's going to keep my side panels absolutely fine. Do I need to take the backing paper off them? No, not really. It's just using it as a sticking point, so it doesn't really matter. It's just there. So I'm going to get that one into place first. Commit that down. Make sure it's not sagging. Push and push. And that keeps my sides nice and protruded. You could put a foam pad there if it felt uncomfortable. Entirely up to you. I'm okay. Now, if these are something that you want to put back or curl, absolutely go for your life. I might curl a few bits of it in a minute, but I quite like the fact that it looks like I'm looking into a private little window, something that's going on behind, and it's super, super sweet, isn't it? Really cute, that burst of colour that comes from it. But I need more up here, and if I don't put more up here, it's going to look odd to me. So I'm going to use these just to give it that colour. Put that in, make sure I'm going from sort of corner into the centre, and that's going to kind of mirror that shape there as well, so it looks really beautiful as those 2 curvature lines go through. Another here. Same there. Just cute as a button. I'm just going to move that slightly further there. Yeah, right. And then commit, and then I'm just going to use those cut lines on that bow just to pull them, and then I'm going to take my pokey. I'm just going to bend that back a little bit just to get a little bit of shape on that bow, just like that. And then I'm covering my workings, so a little bit of adhesive there, straight into that middle point. Okay, now I need to balance the colour. So because I've got that where it is on the wonk, as you can see, because it's me and why wouldn't it be, I need to balance the colour down, and so the only way I can do that then is bring gold in, because we've got the golds and we've got the greens. And I can do that by adding in the most gorgeous sentiment at the bottom, Season's Greetings. And I love these sentiments. They're so beautifully done. And it's a gorgeous, gorgeous font on them as well. And they're just pretty as a picture. Now, you could obviously use the matte layers for these so that it's sort of more separated. Because I'm using the deboss plate, I quite like it just sitting there. I quite like the small overhang. And I quite like the idea of having it kind of hidden in there. Where this pops forward. Now, for me, if I was sending this over to my recipient, my instinct would be to take these and to push them closed. So my recipient gets to open the present when they get it home. But if you're going to curl those papers, you would need to curl them first. But look at that. He's so happy in that scene. Now, I'm not going to curl them, but it is a preference. I can curl one to show you what I mean, so you can see the difference, just so we can go through and have a look at that. That'll give you that curled edge. You see? Should we do them? I'll just do them quickly so you can see. So you get those curled edges, and it gives you that bit of height, that bit of dimension that we're always looking for in card making, because height and dimension are everything as far as visual points are concerned. They give us something that we don't get without a little bit of height. So just taking those through. Me, I'm not going to curl mine. I'm not going to curl mine. Then what happens, Miss Taz? I curl them. pretty is that? Such a beautiful concept and such a really gorgeous Christmas card. Unusual too. I like unusual Christmas cards. When we get to this time of year, it's very, very common to have very similar themes through Christmas cards. And I like the fact that they've given us something different that's not your, what's the word I'm looking for? Absolute traditional. It's got tradition in it, but it stems away from the average. And I like not having average tools to work with. I like being able to play it in a different way. So let's go in for some whimsy, and we're going to look at that card shape, and then we're going to look at some of those larger animals as well, and have a look at what we've got. This is not crisps again. It's not crisps. I kind of wish it was, Miss Towers. Right, so we're just going to build that card shape in exactly the same way. So I'm just going to place that here. And that card shape is on extended dispatch because it has sold out, but you can still get it. It'll just come to you later in the month on the 20th, or dispatch from the 26th of June, 230607, and it's $39.99 UK P&P. It comes with your extra panel here that you can weave into, and all you would simply do is glue that on. So you would probably glue that first, by the way, or it can be glued to the back of the card. Also nice to do because it means when that raises up, you've got, hold on, if I lift that there, you've got that extra panel in there. Really cute. I love that so much. I think that's such a pretty. If it was me, I honestly would say I'd be inclined to glue it to the top piece first and then glue the whole thing down. But it's up to you which way you want to play with it. It's entirely what you feel comfortable with. I'm not using it for this one because I'm doing a different scene, so I'm using the main card shape. We will revisit it tomorrow and make one of those panels for the cards as well. But for this one, I'm just going to use the main because I want to use the filigree for the top of it as well. So I'm bringing in those greens. Beautiful colour, isn't it? Really pretty, pretty colour. So I'm going to take those. I'm on a 3mm foam tape because I'm lifting up slightly. Not much. 3mm. Nice, steady incline. About right there, I think. Up. Push, pull. Same again. This time with that gorgeous kind of Scandi jumper shape on those papers, which is just beyond pretty. And reminds me of mint, those colours. It's like a mint green, isn't it? Pretty. And then the filigree panel, which I love. So cool those tones down. But look at that. Isn't that stunning? Love, love, love that card shape. There's something about it. That's really beautiful, white on white as well, I will say. So if you find a piece of cardstock, which I don't, let's have a look, see if I've got a, just see what I've got in my box of tricks down here. 1 second. If I take a piece of plain, just to show you that on white, look at that. Isn't that beautiful? It gives it a really truly textured feel. So just to let you know, alternatives do exist. Right, I'm going to go in with some wet glue. Just on there. I'm leaving the rest of it, the filigree elements, without adhesive. However, if you feel better, then you do have those center points in these where you can glue them down. I am always happy for my filigree elements to sit proud, because any little shadow play is beautiful to me. So it's up to you what you want to do with that. Right, now I've got that stuck down and everything is in place, I can now decide whether I want to have that portrait or landscape. And for this one, I actually want it to be landscape, not portrait, but everything is all set and ready to go. So I've got a little scene or a little canvas to set my scene, and I'm going to set up a little meal for my characters. They're going to have a right little feast. So the first thing that I've got is my table. Now I'm just going to set that there just so you can see it. Now I've got options. If I bring that forward and high, it's going to really pop, right? Because I've got that diamond shape, but to me, visually problem there. I've got that bottom, I want to cover that. That's my instinct, is to cover that bottom piece. Now, alternatively, depending what I want to put behind it, I can create more space by pulling this further down, because I'm still getting the visual point. And that means I've got more room to play on that diamond there if I want it. Just however you want to do it. But I think it's interesting to note that we can change kind of the full motion just by moving it up or down. I'm going to put a floral arrangement at the bottom of mine, so I do need to raise it slightly. I've got that beautiful poinsettia, as I have recently learned it's called, and I've got my elements here. So I've got berries, holly, florals, pine cones, all of the different things, but I want to put them at the bottom, so I'm going to raise that to around about there, and my main focus point is going to be this. Now this has got the 3 leaves on the bottom of it, so I can choose, do I want to turn it this way so it's kind of upside down, but I'm not comfortable with that. I can have it this way. If I have it this way, I've got to raise that so that this doesn't get trapped. You know, I don't want it knocking it when it's falling, when it's open. So the alternative is to just slightly rotate, which is what I'm going to do, and I'm going to slightly bring it down so it hits that edge, and I'm going to slightly raise that. But in order to really make effect, I'm going to raise that right up on pin flare. And so I'm going to give it a lot of dimension. But the first thing is I need to commit this to where I want it to be. So now that I know that I'm edging out here, I can place my finger. I can pull that forward and just hold. And I can get some glue and I can get that point of adhesion just there. Get it exactly where I want it to be. Okay, so I now know that's where I want it. Then I'm going to start playing with these little elements. So I've got those berries, that's it, and that beautiful red. I'm bringing things more towards the bottom and I'm just laying them out. And the reason the poinsettia needs to be higher than everything else is because the filigree is quite busy and I'm laying other things on it that's quite busy as well. Now the reason that the poinsettia makes such an effect, and you'll see it in the moment, is because it's got a massive surface area that's got no holes in between it. And because of that, I get this big block of beautiful colour that detracts from the kind of the busier elements of the filigree, because normally we wouldn't put stuff on the filigree, you just stick to the diamond in the middle, but I want to extend the space. So I'm just doing a small point of visual at either side, and I'll raise all that together. So the first thing that I'm going to do is stick those down. So I can just put this here and stick. Match that on the other side and stick, and then bring this one in just here. Just going to go over. Remember, my poinsettia is going to cover it, so I don't need to worry about whether or not I've hit the right spot. I know it is. I'm facing these downwards. The curvature is going down. It's a mirrored vignette, so I could have it facing up, but I like it facing down because I want everything to draw down to the base of the card this way. I want my main center focus to be up here. So these two are going to, I'm bringing in my bigger surface areas. Remember, I was just talking about my surface areas. So I'm going to put these here. Now these are actually going to be seats for my little characters. So I don't want to be doing too much with them. What I want to be doing is using pin flare, but small amounts, because I want to be able to move them about. So I'm going to place this here. But nice big block colour, right? So that big block colour starts to become the focus. It starts to become the front of my scene. And these start to fade into the back, so they just become a little pop of colour. Same again this side. Okay. And they're going to be chairs for my little characters to sit on. And now I've got this beautiful, beautiful shape. So we're going to shape this out. And I'm going to shape it in a bowl upwards. So we did this earlier. I'm just going to take this. I'm just going to work right around those edges. And I'm going to work in little circular motions, first of all, around the outside. I'm working with a smaller part of the ball tool, not the great big clunking one, because I don't want to just wreck the middle of it. So I'm going to start working through. I've broken all those fibres, and you can start to see it curl more and more as I get to the centre point, because I'm pushing on that edge point, so everything else is pulling forward. But I can only do that once I've broken fibres. So just to place that in, and then I can take this I've got that bowl. Lots and lots of pin flare on this one because I want it to sit really high and proud, because it's the central focus, it's the top focus, just at that slight angle so it doesn't fall down below the base of the card. And then I've got my my two little buddies here. Now I want to have one facing and one facing. So I just need to turn them around to shape them so I know I've shaped the right side of them. So I'm going to take my smaller ball tool here, because they've only got little bodies. Just go around their tummies. And I'll go around his ears because they are stunning. And around his little face. Super sweet. Same again here. Bottom. Tum. All the way around his tummy, onto his little face, and I'll just do a little bit around his crown, just so he's a bit more rounded. Super, super, he's so cute. Super, super cute. And he's going to sit on his little stool, and the other one's going to sit on his little stool, and they're happily going to have their Christmas dinner. So, placing in, just. He's so cute. Just there. And this one's just offering a little present to the rabbit. Just pop his little ears thither. Little feet standing. And he's just offering, he's proffering that little present to the rabbit. Super cute. Now the reason that, I mean, to me that's quite a busy card. I tend to work very clean backgrounds. But the reason that this is so cute is a lot to do with pin flare. And pin flare sometimes is really your best friend. And I know there's often a debate between pin flare and foam tape. And I understand the debate. I always err on the side of pin flare, really, unless it's something that I know I'm not going to shape out and it's just static. And the reason being is when I can adjust heights. Now, if I was to do this on foam tape, I could adjust heights, but because my foam tape would have to be cut to very specific sizes. With this, I can play, and because I can shape out, if I wanted to take these pine cones now and move them and elongate that out, I absolutely could. And then I could push that further into the center. So that elongates the shape, and you can do anything that you want because you've pin flared it. These ones are stuck. I can't do anything with them. So the idea that I can do this and elongate, or I can push it straight back in and have it much smaller, it's up to you which way you want to go. I actually quite like it quite wide. So I'm probably going to raise that out because my poinsettia is sitting so high here, and I can do that. I can maneuver it. And that's the power of pin flaring. It's how you get to shape these lovely elements in any way you want. Now, because of that, I would leave the top clear. I feel that if I was to put a sentiment on there, or if I was to put anything else on there, I'm going to overwhelm it completely. I'm quite happy to have it laid out in that center point and have my focus as these little characters here eating their Christmas dinner. But again, it depends on how you want to play. It depends on how you play as a crafter. I like it sort of more pared back in that way. So that is that. Now I was going to do another demo, but we are running a little shorter, and I do want to go through the boards with you one more time because this is the last demo of today and we don't get back with you until tomorrow morning at 10. Obviously, big day tomorrow. We've got a big announcement at the end of the 12 o'clock show. So 12 o'clock show will go ahead as normal, and then at the end we have the announcement. So consequently to it, I would want to sort of give you as many demos as I can, but on the last show, on the 12 o'clock show tomorrow, we're going to do a bit of composition work on the Gifted Christmas so we can look at how to play, how to cut things out and how to go through that. So we're going to have a quick look at the boards now so you can get to see everything. I can remind you what you're getting in your collection, because I think if we do that and you can see it, then when you come back tomorrow, lots of you will have your dies and you'll know exactly what you've got because they'll have arrived in the morning. So we're going to have a quick reminder here. We have got your gorgeous Bursting with Pride. There's so much in this collection. It's very hard to show you all of the elements, but we did have a look at this at the beginning with the polar bear, the different elements, and in the first show this morning with Davy B, you did get to see this being cut live on air. So you have seen a full demo for it. If you want to see that again, please do look on YouTube and you'll see it there ready for your perusal. Then this beauty, absolute gorgeous, your ribbons, and it's just so gorgeous. The beautifully wrapped die set has got everything going for it. You can create exquisite cards, but you could use these elements on, you could use them on presents. I mean, literally, if you were to make a box that is the size of a card, if you've got something like a book that's going to be received, you made a little box, you could use that so perfectly on there, couldn't you? It would look extraordinary. But for cards, it's got something really beautiful. Stamp a little sentiment out on there, attach it to the ribbon coming out, you've got something extraordinary. And I think that's a really beautiful stroke of genius, those ribbons. So you've got your beautifully wrapped all sitting there, and then we have got your gorgeous seasonal celebrations where you've got all of your gorgeous florals there. So that means we've got your poinsettias, your pine cones, your gorgeous white florals. I didn't know the things, Miss Taz, I just pretend. Then you've got your little ferns, you've got your holly, you've got your sentiments. These are stunning, aren't they? Love, love, love them. Really pretty. But look, you've got mats and layers for those as well. So 2 external dies for those. So you can bring everything up and you can sort of heighten everything, which is really, really pretty. We go from there to where you've got your they're just beyond cute. Your little creatures, aren't they sweet? So you've got the robin with his little hat on. You've got the fox with his party hat on. And then you've got your polar bear who's got his Christmas jumper on. You've got your scarf. All 3 of those can wear that. You've just seen me using rabbit and mouse, and they were having a lovely Christmas dinner. You've got presents. So we've got different size presents, which I think is really cute as well. Now, we've got the little smaller presents, which could be used for rabbit and mouse, or you've got the big ones, which can be used for the larger animals as well. And you've got these, which can be sitting on something like this. So if you put your little log stump down, and then you can put a present on there, or you could put a glass of wine. You could put in your rubbish. Pauline is saying the fox. I know, it's just so gorgeous. The Carnation team have got a real knack of doing animals, haven't they? Their stags and their foxes have always been beautiful. Each one of these, on the larger ones, certainly on some of the smaller ones, also have external die as well, so you can create mats for each of these. And then you've got your beautiful cold snap corners, which are just extraordinary. Beautiful pieces, aren't they? These can be cut into, obviously, as well. So if you wanted to have separate little squares, you absolutely can do. You can have them as separate little snowflakes coming down and use them in your snip ability. But you've also got those corner pieces to create your gorgeous frames. That's your main collection. That's 230601. That's the gifted Christmas collection. £107.99 on the Carnation Crafts website, which is www.carnationcrafts.co.uk. Free UK P&P with that, but you must put in the code CCGC10 in order to get your 10% discount. Otherwise, it's going to charge you £119.99, and we don't want to pay that. We want it to be at the lower price. Separate to that, I have to say, I did speak to Mark in between shows, and even though this is on extended dispatch because it's sold out this morning, it's still selling fast and furious. And that is 230607. It's your frost panel card shape die set. You will get a dispatch on that from the 26th of June. It's got a show price of $39.99, $2.95 UK P&P. Just stunning. We will play with the full thing again tomorrow, but if you want to see a full demo on it today, remember to watch the first show with Davy B and you'll see a full demonstration on how to put the whole thing together. You've also got your gorgeous, gorgeous putting up the tree with that extending Christmas tree, which is as clever as the chicken wire, really, isn't it? It just, you can have it as the short piece that looks like a cake, or you can pull it straight upwards and you can have it as a full elongated Christmas tree. You've got all your little jewels for your tree, your little ornaments, and you've also got this which can be used as like a tinsel, or as you saw me use it earlier, it can be used almost like a swag on a fireplace or on the top of the card. Super pretty. And then you have got your beauty. I love this so much. I'm so in love with that debossing panel. It's so cute. Crisp winter debossing plate. But as I said earlier, and I still go on a limb, I don't feel like there's anything Christmas about that. I think it's just pretty. I think on any card, I put it with summer pursuits. I think it's absolutely beautiful. Bring your colours together. So that's all your different elements. This one is 230608 2499 295 UK P&P on the Carnation Crafts website, www.carnationcrafts.co.uk. So Taz and I are back with you tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock, and we will back with you after that at 12 o'clock. It's 12 o'clock show that will have the announcement in it, but it won't be until the end of the show, just to let you know. In case you sat wondering why I'm still rabbiting on about making cards, it's because we're doing a normal show, but the announcement will come at the end. So I want to say an enormous thank you to all of you for all of your support today. It has been incredibly well received. The Gifted Christmas also has been incredibly well received by you guys. Always nice to share your company. We're going to go and have a drink and cool down a bit. It's very warm in the studio. It's all very well doing Christmas, but Mr. Taz and I would like to be wearing swimming costumes at the minute. It's very, very warm. So we will see you tomorrow morning, and we'll have loads more demos for you to have a look at and loads more to see. So we will we will go and entertain ourselves until then, Mrs. Taz. Okay? She's saying yeah. It was nice to see you. I'll speak to you tomorrow. Bye.